I'm sure you've heard by now that Donald Trump plans to waste tens of millions of taxpayer dollars to have a grotesque, over-the-top, extravagant birthday bash for himself on June 14th. That also happens to be Flag Day and the 250th anniversary of the United States Army, and he's using those as a justification to spend ridiculous quantities of money celebrating himself. Trump wants to do something that we don't do here in the United States of America. He wants to have a dictator-esque military parade where he has, according to Reuters, 6,500 United States military troops, 150 vehicles, 25 armored tanks, and 50 aircraft, all converging on Washington, D.C. to carry out his birthday celebrations. Critics of this monarchical or autocratic style parade call it an authoritarian display of power and a waste of taxpayer dollars. Again, this is something that we simply don't do in the United States of America. We don't have our presidents spend tens of millions of dollars of taxpayer money having giant military self-congratulatory birthday parades. That's the kind of shit that Vladimir Putin does. That's the kind of shit that Viktor Orban does, Kim Jong-un does. I mean, that's something that the King of England did and does, wasting huge amounts of the public's money to have giant military birthday parades. We don't have dictators in the United States. We don't have a king in the United States. In fact, we fought an entire revolutionary war to get free of a king, to get free of a ruler who behaved like this. So it's Thursday, May 15th, about 4:30 in the afternoon Pacific time, and I want to share with you an update on this parade planning that is happening that Reuters posted just a couple of hours ago. But before I do, I would like to encourage you to completely boycott this event on June 14th. Do not watch it on TV, and definitely do not go and show up in Washington, D.C. We are all staying out of Washington, D.C. We don't want to give any attention to this garish, excessive waste of taxpayer money. Trump is desperate to celebrate himself. He's desperate to have all eyes and ears and all attention. He wants adulation. He wants praise lavished on himself. He is deeply insecure and desperate for public approval, which is why he continually overinflates the number of people who show up to his rallies and events, his approval ratings, etc. His fragile ego is very much tied to the attention, the adoration of the public. So the best thing we can all do is to not watch a single bit of this. We're all going to go do something else. And I will talk about what that something is in the next video. But go ahead and put it on your calendar, June 14th. We're not paying any attention to this nonsense of Trump's giant tank parade birthday event. We're going to all have our own celebrations everywhere around the country except for Washington, D.C. We're all going to turn our backs to what's happening over there, and we're going to do our own thing. Trump is not invited to the party that we're going to be having. And his party is going to be a big fat bust. We can't stop him from wasting our hard-earned tax dollars, but we can certainly choose to not reward him for doing so. Okay, so this article that just came out from Reuters, it says, twin celebrations of the U.S. President Donald Trump's birthday and the Army's 250th anniversary will include as many as 25 tanks rolling through Washington, D.C. in a celebration that will cost up to $45 million. So let's be clear, Trump doesn't give two shits about the U.S. Army and its birthday celebration. He is using that coincidence to try and force our armed services to show up to his event, to try to lure veterans to participate in his event. I mean, do you remember in 2020 when Trump called our fallen soldiers suckers and losers? He's a draft dodger. He's never respected our veterans. He's mocked them and ridiculed them. Please do not believe for a single second that he cares about any of our service members. According to Reuters, this $45 million price tag excludes costs that the city of Washington, D.C. is going to be forced to bear, like trash cleanup and road repairs from the damage from all of those heavy tanks. Again, critics of this event say that Trump is trying to flex his authoritarian muscle and gratify his own ego. That this is a tremendous waste of taxpayer dollars, especially as Trump is trying to cut waste, fraud, and abuse out of the federal government and slashing all kinds of programs that the American people care about. Like how much cancer research, how much Alzheimer's research got cut so that Trump could have this parade. How many veterans were fired from the federal workforce so that Trump could have this military parade? I mean, remember, according to CNN, at least 120,000 federal workers have been fired. 30% of those are veterans, and half of those veteran federal employees are disabled. Do not be fooled into thinking that Trump gives a single fuck about the US military or our veterans. Trump has been obsessed with this idea of having a display of military might to honor himself for many years. In fact, in 2017, he first tried to get the US government to fund something like that for him. His advisors came back to him and said, what you want to have would cost $90 million, and we're not going to do it. So ultimately, according to Reuters, Trump settled for an exhibition instead of a full parade. But he now wants to have that full parade that he's been longing for since 2017. Military parades in the United States are exceptionally rare. Again, we don't have kings and dictators here, even though Trump is trying to make himself both, and I guess also Pope and Caesar, according to the images he puts on social media. But the last time we had a military parade, again, not for a president's birthday, was in 1991. That parade was held to honor the ousting of Saddam Hussein from Kuwait in the Gulf War. So I want to talk about this much more in the next video, but I just want to encourage you right now, put June 14th on your calendar, not because we're going to have anything to do with Trump's birthday. No, we're all ignoring that shit. We're not having anything, we're not going to tweet about it, we're not going to talk about it, we're not going to give it any attention. We're definitely not going to watch it on TV, and we're definitely not going to go to DC. We want the tiniest turnout possible. Tinier than his creepy little hands. We are all going to go do our own thing. We're going to have our own celebration, which is about community, which is about democracy, which is about the Constitution, which is about the American people. June 14th is Flag Day, and we're going to have our own celebration because the United States flag belongs to us. Lady Liberty belongs to us. The Constitution belongs to us. This country belongs to us, the American people. It doesn't belong to Donald Trump. Our federal lands, those are our lands. That's our heritage. They're not his to sell off to developers. Our tax dollars, that's our money. That's not his money to play with and spend tens of millions of dollars on golf trips, tens of millions of dollars on self-congratulatory birthday parades. That's our money that's meant to be spent making our lives better, not lining the pockets of him and his billionaire buddies. This is a country of, by, and for the people. And so on June 14th, we are going to have celebrations all around the country. There are already events planned in every single state to celebrate the fact that we have no kings here, and we're not going to start now. We are going to have parties all over the country celebrating us, the American people. So to learn more about how to join a celebration near you, if you want to attend one or if you want to help plan one, please go to nokings.org and come back and watch the next video in a little bit because I'm going to talk a lot more about it.